Right, hi there. Hang on a sec, I'm going to do the usual and check that this is working. And yes, it is. Okay, so right, so today I'm going to work on, out of the 5 foundations that I always talk about, I'm going to work on lyrical storytelling. Okay, lyrical storytelling. So on this one, I'm going to focus in on a Neil Young song. I'm not going to play the song, I'm going to sing the lyrics or talk the lyrics to you, because I just want to point out one very important thing. There is so much to storytelling in songs, I believe anyway, but not so much that you can't catch on and learn it. That's not what I mean. But just to tell a story in a song, in your lyrics, there's a way to do it that the everyday person, including me, you, like humans in other words, can understand. We understand stories when they're in this particular order, when they're delivered to us in a particular order. So anyway, today I'm talking about when you start your very first set of lyrics for your song. So your first verse of your song, and let's say there's 4 lines in it. In this Neil Young song there's four lines. So when you start that is 4 lines. Sorry, that first verse with 4 lines, let's say. You could have 6 lines, you might have 8 lines, but let's say there's 4 lines. That first verse will do what I want. One thing it's going to do that I'm going to point out today is it's going to start with an external moment, like an outside of yourself description is what I'm trying to say. I call them event, an outside of yourself event, right? That's happening. So I'm not saying I feel so down today, right? I'm not saying that, because that's about me. It's internal. It's how I feel. This is outside of myself. Something's happening. So that's how you start. Your first line wants to be an outside of yourself moment, right? Then when the verse ends, it wants to be ending with internal, with how you feel, or you're summing it up with how it is for you. Okay, so with this Neil Young song, you'll see exactly what I mean. So it starts, in fact, he starts first 3 lines external, outside of himself. It's not about his thoughts and his feelings. It's something going on out there. Then the 4th line, he brings it back to him and how he's feeling about it. So the first line he goes, here's the example for today. He goes, I could live inside a teepee. See, outside. He's talking about a teepee, an American Indian teepee. He's bringing him into it. I could live inside a teepee. That's outside of himself, right? Okay, second line. I could live in penthouse 35. Again, outside. I could live in penthouse 35. That's outside of himself. It's not about him and his feelings. It's an outside there in the world. Line 3. You could lose me on the freeway. Okay, again, it's outside of himself. It's an outside of himself happening there. Okay, hang on. Yeah, so it's outside of himself again. You could lose me on a freeway. Again. And what do I want to point out there? He's bringing in another person. First he said, I could live inside a teepee. I could live in penthouse 35. Now all of a sudden he's saying, you could lose me on a freeway. So now we've got another person in the story. By the way, that would be the antagonist. You know, the person that's kind of against you or causing you problems, okay? But that's another story. I don't want to talk about that in this particular video content, in this Songwriters Daily today. So anyway, now line number 4, look what he's going to do. He's going to bring it back to himself, me, I. And this is what he does. 4th line. I would still make it out alive. So I would still make it back alive, but I would still make it back alive. And although that could be interpreted as, oh, he crossed the highway and ran home, I think he's saying internally, me, my strength, I could make it back alive. You could leave me on a freeway, but I'd still make it back alive. So he brings it back to him. It's about him now. It's not about the highway. It's not about the teepee or Penthouse 35. It's now about him and his strength. Okay, so that's what he did. The first 3 lines were out. The last 3 lines were in. The last line was in. Okay, so it's a technique. It's not my opinion. It's actually a technique in storytelling, and that's what I'm talking about today. The storytelling is you start off in your first verse external and you end internal. Okay? Alright. Now, I'll see you tomorrow. That's today's show. I hope you're doing well. Have you any kind of questions? Ask me. Get in touch with me. I hope things are going well for you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Alright, all the best. All the best. See you tomorrow. Bye.